Hello, this is SK Singh from DPS Mathura Refinery Nagar. Dear children, today we discuss a few more concepts related to inverse trigonometric function. In the previous video, I have discussed a concept that mod x greater equal to a implies that x belongs to minus infinity to minus a union a to infinity. If you locate this on the number line, suppose this is minus a and this is suppose plus a, so its first part, that this says minus infinity to minus infinity, this is minus a is included, and this x area, this line, this length of number line, minus infinity to minus a, this is the required one, and a to plus 1. So this is the region of minus infinity to minus a and a to infinity. You can see here minus a and plus a are included. If you wish to see with another angle, we can write in this way also. In set of this real number, if we subtract this minus a to plus a, if we subtract minus a to plus a, pay heed that minus a and plus a are not included here. This expression and the expression given above represents the same thing, because from whole real number, if we minus this expression, this length, then we'll get the same thing as we expressed earlier. So we have seen in the previous turn that that mod x equal to a implies that x equal to plus minus a. Mod x less than equal to a implies that x belongs to minus a to plus a. Mod x greater than a implies that minus infinity to minus a union a to infinity. This expression we can also write it as r minus a comma plus a. That is, this is the same thing. And now I would like to just revise the concept. Look at this one. Here, in case of sin inverse x, cos inverse x, the domain is minus 1 to plus 1, and this expression can be written as mod x less than equal to 1. The domain of sin inverse x, cos inverse x is x mod x less than equal to 1. And here in cosec inverse x and sec inverse x, the domain is r minus minus 1. And right now we have shown that r minus 1 to plus 1, it is nothing, it is mod x greater equal to 1, right? In case of tan inverse x and cot inverse x, domain is a real number. So far as question concerned to the range, you can see in case of sin inverse x, cos inverse x, cosec, sec and tan cot, alternatively range is from minus pi by 2 to plus pi by 2 and 0 to pi. See, in the first two, minus pi by 2 to plus pi by 2, 0 to pi in case of sin inverse x and cos inverse x. In case of cosec and sec, it is again minus pi by 2 plus pi by 2 and 0 to pi, but middle term, that is minus 0 and minus pi by 2 is being done. In case of tan inverse x and cot inverse x, again you can see the range is minus pi by 2 plus pi by 2 and 0 to pi, but here they minus pi by 2 plus pi by 2 and 0 to pi are in open interval. The first two minus pi by 2 plus pi by 2 in closed interval, the last two tan inverse cot inverse minus pi by 2 plus pi by 2 0 to pi open interval. In case of cosec inverse x and sec inverse x, the range is minus pi by 2 plus pi by 2 and 0 to pi closed interval minus the middle term, that is 0 and minus pi by 2. These things must be taken care of before solving the question. A few more things I would like to just revise class 11th concept. We know that in case of quadrant, Suppose this is x-axis and this is y-axis. You can see this is quadrant number 1, this is quadrant number 2, this is quadrant number 3, and this is quadrant number 4. And so far as question concerned to the angle, if you can recall, the first quadrant the angle is alpha, and alpha is line 0 to 90, that is acute angle. Here alpha is acute angle. And in second quadrant, if you can recall, the angle is pi minus alpha. This is the pi and pi minus alpha, where alpha is an acute angle. And in third quadrant, the angle is pi plus alpha. And in fourth quadrant, angle is minus alpha, or we can say it is 2 pi minus alpha. So here three things, these things must be taken care of. Alpha, right? And second quadrant it is pi minus alpha. In third quadrant is pi plus alpha. And fourth quadrant is 2 pi minus alpha or minus alpha, because from x-axis if we rotate in clockwise direction, then it will become minus alpha. So alpha, pi minus alpha, pi plus alpha, and minus alpha, or we can say 2 pi minus alpha. These are the angle. And if you can recall the class 11 concept, it is known as ASTC rule. Means all trigonometric ratio are positive in first quadrant. Only sine and cosec are positive in second quadrant. Tangent and cot are possible in third quadrant, and cos and sec are positive in fourth quadrant. And rest of the trigonometric ratio are negative. These things must be written. All trigonometric ratios: sine, cosine, sine and cosec, tangent and cot, and cos and sec in for the fourth quadrant. Now we will take a few questions based on it. Look at question number, example number 1. Find the principal value of sine inverse 1 by 2. Suppose sine inverse 1 by 2 equal to y, right? Then sine y equal to 1 by root 2. Can you recall what is the value of 1 by root 2 in case of sine? If you can say sine 30 is 1 by root 2, or sine 30, you know, it is sine pi by 6. So sine pi can be written as sine pi equal to 1 by root 2. Sine 1 by root 2 is the value of sine 45. Sine 45 is pi by 4. So sine pi by 4 is 1 by root 2. So we can write sine y equal to sine pi by 4. So here y equal to pi by 4. And you know what is the range of sine inverse function? You can see in the first row we have seen that in range of sine inverse function is minus pi by 2 to plus pi by 2 in closed interval, and pi by 4 lies in this range, that is minus pi by 2 plus pi by 2. So its answer is pi by 4, right? Suppose we are taking this another question based on the same concept. Look at question number 1, sine inverse minus 1 by 2. In the same way we can write sine y equal to minus 1 by 2. Can you recall what is the value of 1 by 2 in case of sine? Can you recall sine 30 degree, yes, sine pi by 6 is 1 by 2. So we can say sine y equal to minus sine pi by 6. We have taken minus sign intact, and 1 by, in place of 1 by 2 we have written sine pi by 6. And sine is negative. You know, sine is negative in two quadrant. Either it is in third quadrant or it is in fourth quadrant. And if you can see the range of sine inverse function, it is minus pi by 2 to plus pi by 2. And our sign is negative. It means our value y is lying only in fourth quadrant, because so we can say sine y equal to sine minus pi by 6. Here sine is negative. Sine negative is possible in third quadrant, in fourth quadrant. If sine is negative in third quadrant, we would have taken pi plus alpha. If sine is negative in fourth quadrant, then we'll take it is minus alpha. So here the range of the sine inverse function is minus pi by 2 to plus pi by 2. It means minus pi by 2 to 0 lies in fourth quadrant. So we will accept the fourth quadrant value. So the value of y here is how much? The value of y is here is minus pi by 4. So what is the range of this principal value of this function? It is minus pi by 4. Let us solve a few more questions based on this concept. Look at question number 4. In question number 4, we can see that tan inverse minus root 3, right? So we can write tan y equal to minus root 3, right? You take this minus sign intact and see the value of root 3. In case of tan, root 3 is the value of tan 60 degree, and tan 60 can be written as tan pi by 3. So here we can write here tan y equal to minus tan pi by 3, right? And what is the range of tan inverse function? Right now we have seen the range of tan inverse function is minus pi by 2 to plus pi by 2 in open interval. So in case of open interval, and tangent is negative in two quadrant, you can recall tangent is negative in second quadrant and tangent is negative in fourth quadrant. So here this point must be specified with greater emphasis that our range is also lies in fourth quadrant and negative sign also lies in fourth quadrant. So we will consider the value of y lies in fourth quadrant. So here we can write here tan y equal to tan minus pi by 3. So here y will come out equal to minus pi by 3. So its answer is tan inverse minus root 3 is minus pi by 3. Principal values of this is minus pi by 3. Look at one more question. Look at question number 5. Cos inverse minus 1 by 2. So let cos inverse minus 1 by 2 is y. So we can say cos y equal to minus 1 by 2. So here we can say cos y equal to minus 1 by 2. Can you recall in case of cos, what is the value of 1 by 2? Which angle have the value 1 by 2? Can you recall cos 60 degree is 1 by 2. Cos 60 means cos pi by 3. So we can write here cos y equal to minus cos pi by 3. And in case of cos y equal to minus cos pi by 3, cos is positive in first quadrant and fourth quadrant, negative is in second quadrant and third quadrant. So here our cos value is negative in, so y value either lies in second quadrant or lies in third quadrant. Now what is the range of cos inverse function? It is 0 to pi. So 0 to pi, first quadrant and second quadrant. So cos y is negative in second quadrant as well as rise in range of the function. So our value of y must lie in the second quadrant, and in second quadrant we know that the alpha, and second quadrant it is pi minus alpha. So here we will write here cos y equal to cos pi minus pi by 3, and so it implies that y equal to 2 pi by 3. So this is the way of finding the answer principally. You solve a few more examples and question. We will discuss a few more things on this topic. Today I'll give one more assignment, online assessment, where you have to upload a paper pertaining the table of domain and range of inverse trigonometric function as well as the graphs of inverse trigonometric function. It is underway. You will get it soon on your WhatsApp link and my Telegram app, that is SK Singh DPS. Thank you very much. Wish you all the best. Good luck.